Hey, what's up everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So I'm finally done with all my year-end top 10s. I know I missed a couple breakdowns. The Makabu Mashunu breakdown, that's next week, that fight is. So I'm not going to get to the breakdown on that. I will do a preview though next week, whether it's on TV or pay-per-view or wherever it's at. Also, for next week, there's another fight on the 29th. I didn't feel it was a big enough fight to do a breakdown, Consaichao versus Xavier Martinez, but I'll do a preview on that as well. But this breakdown video right here is going to be on a fight that's a couple weeks away, a significant middleweight showdown between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams, two former world title challengers going at it to take a step up in the middleweight division. I currently have both these guys in the top 10. I believe Chris Eubank's number 8, and I believe Liam Williams is number 10. And again, this is just a big-time matchup of two guys trying to take the next step. Guys that have kind of been there, fought for titles, came up short, and are trying to get back to that. You know, so I like the matchup a lot. I think it's a good matchup between the two. It's all United Kingdom battle right here. So, I know a lot of my UK brothers and UK friends out there are gonna enjoy this. They usually do, and I'm really looking forward to this matchup right here. So, the way the breakdown videos work is I ask questions on each fighter. I start with the favorite, and then I move to the underdog. But I ask the same questions. First, I talk about what they've done rolling into this fight. Maybe their last 2 or 3 fights or 2 or 3 years. Then the questions of what do they need to do to win the fight? Can they win by knockout? Can they win by decision? And what does it mean for them if they win this fight? For them personally. And then on the flip side, I ask the same questions for the underdog, and then I say, is it better for boxing for whoever wins? Who's it better for? Is boxing better for if one guy wins or the other guy wins? That's the question, and then my prediction. So let's jump into it. Don't want to take too long on this. We start with the favorite, Chris Eubank Jr. He's got the name. His dad was a great champion, and his son, Chris Eubank, got the name and is rolling into this one. It's been a while since he's been in a major fight. It's been since he fought, I believe it was February 2019 when he beat James DeGale. He hasn't been in a big fight since, and he's been very picky about fighting, about staying busy. I believe he fought one time late in that year against some nobody in 2019. I don't think he fought at all in 2020, and in 2021 he fought a couple times against low rent opposition. So heading into this one, I'm actually kind of surprised. He's usually a guy that wants to wait around for a big fight and take on nobodies until he gets there. Taking on Liam Williams is going to be a challenge for Chris Eubank. I hope he's not overlooking Liam Williams, because Liam Williams is a full package. He's a solid middleweight, very solid. So what kind of fight does Chris Eubank need to have to win this fight? I think Eubank needs to be the boxer in this fight. Liam Williams is more of a, kind of an aggressor, that classic UK kind of, puncher, just comes at you kind of deal. Not a big-time power puncher is Liam Williams, though. He's got power, but he's not a big-time power puncher. Chris Eubank can own this fight early if he boxes. I think he's the better boxer. I think he needs a box, set up his punches, and take Liam Williams into the middle and later part of the fight. Then maybe try to score a stoppage win there. He does not need to go toe-to-toe with Liam Williams and make it a slugfest early, because that could lead to dangerous things in the end of the fight. We don't know how good Eubank's stamina is going to be, So if he goes deep into a tough, rough, grueling fight. So I think Eubank needs to use his ring IQ. I think he needs to box and set his punches up and take the fight late into there to win a convincing decision or a knockout. Now, can Chris Eubank win by knockout? I think he can. I just think it's going to be tough because Liam Williams does have a good chin. Eubank's not a super big puncher. He's a good puncher, but he's not a super big puncher. So I think he can win by knockout. but it's going to be tough. I think it'd have to be accumulation, breaking down Liam Williams to win by knockout. But a knockout would be big, but it's going to be a tough one. Can Chris Eubank win by decision? Yeah, I think he can win by decision. I think he can outwork Liam Williams and outbox him and get a decision victory. What does it mean for Chris Eubank Jr. if he wins this fight? Well, it's not going to be the biggest win of his career. Not at all, but it's going to be the biggest win in the last couple years. You know, these fighters need a big win every couple years or so to keep their name strong, you know? If Chris Eubank, if his goal is to get Triple G, Canelo, which I don't know if those fights are likely, but if his goal is to get a big fight, he needs to beat a guy like Liam Williams. That's a good, you know, I don't want to call Liam Williams a stepping stone, but it's a good step in the right direction to beat another top 10 middleweight like this, especially Liam Williams, who's coming off of a loss to Demetrius Andrade. If Chris Eubank can knock him out or win more convincingly than Andrade, then hey, Eubank can argue, you know, that he might get a shot at Andrade. He might fight Andrade, you know. He might say, hey, look, I beat him more impressively than you did, so I deserve a title shot. You know, so that's how that works. So let's switch over. What does a loss mean for Chris Eubank, though? It's gonna be devastating to him. He can't afford a loss right now for his career. I think a loss really starts to maybe start the beginning of the end for Chris Eubank, because, you know, he's had a couple losses in his career to Billy Joe early on, Billy Joe Saunders, and then when everybody thought he was rolling, when he got completely outboxed against George Groves, that one really hurt him. So a loss is really going to be bad for Chris Eubank Jr. Now let's switch over to the underdog, Liam Williams. And, you know, rolling into this fight, Liam Williams, you know, he's coming off that loss to Demetrius Andrade last year. He is, but he closed that fight strong and fought Andrade hard after getting outclassed and outboxed the first half of the fight. He stayed in there. He showed a lot of heart and a lot of fortitude, and kept coming and won some rounds late in the fight and fought hard. So, you know, heading into this one, his confidence is not down. It's up, in my opinion. And I think he's coming into this one really believing he can win, or else he wouldn't have taken this fight. So what kind of fight does Liam Williams need to have to win this fight? I think his best chance of success is to get in there and get on the inside of Chris Eubank and try to make it a dogfight. I think that's what Liam Williams needs to do. He does not need to let this become a boxing match, because, to be honest, I think he'll get outboxed. But if he can get in there, press the action, and make it an inside fight, he's got a good chance of pulling it off, because I'm not sure, and he needs to do that early, because I'm not sure Chris Eubank can hang in that kind of fight if it goes the distance and it's an inside tough and rough fight. So that's what I believe from Liam Williams. That's the kind of fight he needs to fight. Now, can Liam Williams win this fight by knockout? I'm not sure. Eubank's a tough fighter. He's never been knocked out. He's got a good chin, and Liam Williams is not a big time puncher. So can he win by knockout? I mean, if he wears him down and you know, and Eubank gets his stamina gets low in the second half of the fight, maybe, but I'm leaning towards the less likely that he knocks him out. Okay, and finally, can he win this fight by a decision? You know, I think it's possible. I think that's probably the best possible option for him, is to win this fight by decision, because Eubank, you know, can take shots and everything. So I think his best chance to win is by decision. What does this fight mean for Liam Williams if he wins? Well, it means everything if he wins. Liam Williams, this will be the biggest win of his career by far. He hasn't, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry about that. He hasn't fought he's fought solid fighters, but to beat a guy like Chris Eubank right now would be huge for him, be huge for his career, and put him right back in the driver's seat to get in line for a title shot. So I think a win over Chris Eubank's huge. What does a loss mean? A loss means starting over again and really having to sit back and reevaluate your career. A loss would be a second straight loss, you know, after losing to Demetrius Andrade for the WBO title. So a loss for Liam Williams would really hurt him right now. It's something he really can't afford either. I don't think, he's not the favorite coming in, so I don't think a lot of people expect him to win, but a loss, you know, like I said, a loss for him would hurt. And now the last, the last couple questions. Is it better for boxing if Chris Eubank or Liam Williams wins this fight? And to be honest, I think it's better for boxing if Eubank wins. Eubank's got the bigger name, and people want to see him fight a little bit more, and they want to see what he's got. So for boxing, it's better for Chris Eubank if he wins. Wouldn't be bad if Liam Williams pulled it off, but I think it's better for boxing if Eubank wins. Now, who do I think is going to win this fight? I think it's going to be a rugged, tough kind of battle right here. But I really think Chris Eubank has the tools to outbox Liam Williams and defeat him. I'm picking Chris Eubank by a unanimous decision. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Eubank stopped Liam Williams. And I think Liam Williams is a live underdog and has a chance to pull off the upset here and get a decision himself. Not sure if he can knock out Chris Eubank, but I think, Liam Williams is a tough guy. He's been in there, and he's a veteran, and he's unafraid. So this is going to be a good little scrap right here on Saturday, February 5th on DAZN. Make sure you're checking it out. You're checking it out because I think it's going to be a good one right here between two middleweights at a crossroads that both need to win. So we'll see what happens, but that's the Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams breakdown video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True boxing. You've been hit with the truth.